Hey guys, here we go. Adjusted the camera a little bit and I've got a haircut. It's about time, right? I'm going to be using the same gear as before. Taj handled Semogue Owners Club. Trying to show you the label and almost fumbled it. Been soaking in the water for just a minute. We'll give it a little bit more time. Fatip is the Piccolo handle. It's the open comb. And how's my alignment? My alignment's good. But just so I don't forget to show you the blade, I'm going to go ahead and take it out. There's my Nacet with the 3 dots. I wish the camera would focus. It's actually got a macro mode, but apparently it doesn't automatically engage that when it needs to. And so my alignment is now a little bit off. So what I do is I back off the tension a little bit, and now we're good. So that didn't take very long at all. If there's any doubt, you can see, do you see the difference in the glisten right here on this edge? That's that bend that's in the blade at use 225. So it is still the same Nacet, and today we are looking at use number 305. All right. I ran out of space on the normal little envelope. We're going to be using Vetiver from Martin de Candre. We're going to see how much use we can get. We're going to do the math and figure it out once we do a difference in weight. Lather bowl 3D printed. I just heard from somebody in the comments that said they had they'd gone to SugarDaddyShaves.com, where I have posted a page on that site. No ads. Maybe someday I'll have to add ads, but for right now, no ads. And it's about the 3D printing, and 3 of you guys have sent me information on different websites that you used to print this bowl. And he was able to use one, and he said $70 to $90 is what some websites were charging to print it, and that's ridiculous. He found one of the 3 that I have on my site did it for $38. So just to give you an idea, and I use the XL version. The extra large version is my particular choice. And no, I don't get any kickbacks or anything like that. All right, I think we're good to go. I'm gonna get my face wet. Little bit less than 24 hours of growth is what we're dealing with. All right, so the razor's set. Now, you know what I'm gonna do today? Day 1 was lots of water, 30 seconds of loading. Day 2, back off of the water. I got something that was a little more kind of luxury creamy, but it still didn't really compare to a lot of other soaps out there. So, so I think I've kind of run the breadth of that, but let's try some variations. What I'd like to try today is, if you saw yesterday, I really got some airy, bubbly lather when I started loading the brush. So let's just see if we get anything different, a different type of lather, whatever, by doing 30 seconds of loading with a drier brush. So, doesn't look like, we're denting the tub too much, but that's kind of to be expected. I mean, we've only used it 3 times. Okay, now normally I shake out quite a bit of water anyway. Now, I would definitely stop by now, but let's keep on getting that water out and just seeing what we get. All right, so there we go. Okay, 30 seconds of loading. We're starting at 21, so we'll go to 51. And now let's see if we get, it's still kind of bubbling up just the same. I mean, really, seriously. In fact, what it might be doing is bubbling up a little bit more than it did before. And there's 51, and look at that. Look at all that. It's a drier, airier, type of lather. What I have done lately so far is to go ahead and scoop up some of it and put that in the bowl. And then I take some of the other stuff. I've been kind of using it to dispel the oils on my skin, that sort of thing. A little bit of a face wash. You can see it doesn't really take much. I'm getting kind of a opaque lather right here just from some of the leftover bubbles. Pretty wild. All right, well now let me pause you and I'm going to clean up this jar. I kept my goatee long on purpose, longer than I usually like to, because I wanted it to always remind me, man, you need a haircut. And so now I don't have to get the water out of my goatee after each rinse anymore, because the shorter hairs just don't hold it in. I'm going to go ahead and put in 2 teaspoons of water, because I used with a 30-second load yesterday. I was trying to mix kind of creamy, still ended up using 5 teaspoons instead of the previous day's 7. So it does take a good bit of water. I will do some face lathering, and my thought is I'll find a good mix with that's a good load time and water and stuff that's good for a bowl lather, and then I'll try that same ratio out as a face lather and see if anything happens. But I don't want to do one of those overloading face lathers, because since this is a usage test month, I did raise the camera angle just a bit so you'd see my eyeballs. Okay, so that's 3, but it may mean, and that's 4. May mean I have to hold the bowl a little higher. Maybe we can compromise, find a good angle. Loving this brush from even early on in the process. I think it had 10 uses when I started the month, which is young for a boar brush, but it's already a delight to use, so it's just gonna be in more better gooder as we go on. Let's go ahead and add a 5th teaspoon. So right now we have 30 seconds of loading and 5 teaspoons of water, which is what I used yesterday. The only difference is I shook out more water before I loaded the soap. It doesn't seem like that was that much water. I don't know that it really is going to affect the lather very much. So maybe next time what I could do, I could come at it with a really dry brush, I'll, instead of just trying to shake out as much water as I can, maybe I'll give the bristles a light squeeze. Something like that. Why not play around with it, right? Then what I can do is come at the soap with more water in it than I usually might like. See if that changes anything. Okay, this lather looks pretty good. Collapsing in on itself. Let's mix it for just a little bit longer. Yeah, it's an attractive lather. Looks good to the eyes. Feels good on the face with the brush. Even this, boar brush is not as, it's a very soft brush. No matter whether you're talking about a badger or a boar. There are definitely some other more prickly boars that I don't enjoy as much. But a badger, many badgers are even softer than this. And this lather still feels great. Oh, sorry, man. All right, I am going to pause you while I add some water to my face. Okay. This does seem to be a soap that I need to run just a bit drier than I usually do. We have got a lot of soap in play here. I can't help but go ahead and wet this down just a bit more. See that texture on my neck? Kind of clumpy, rows and ridges. With many soaps, that is a sign that you need to keep adding water. I don't think this one likes quite as much water as some of the other kind of better soaps, like I like Sterling a little better than this. I've got tons of lather that I'm dealing with here. Could be that since my brush was a little drier, because I shook out more water, the bristles may have picked up more soap, because I now have 6 teaspoons in play here. That is a lot of lather. And this is just what I have, on the brush for the first pass. So obviously, in the future, we're planning on reducing the load time, but I just didn't want to change too many variables at once. It's nice, slick soap. A little bit of tugging, as is kind of the custom. With such an old blade. the pause button is in kind of a weird place that takes me a second to get to on the camera. Something I learned recently is unless I find some setting or something like that where I can change it, this camera doesn't like to be upside down to take videos. And there we go. First pass is down. If I had to put a number on it, I might say that I've reduced the stubble maybe by half, or maybe 60%. I have 60% left to deal with. So let us, sometimes I will redo the same pattern of that first pass, kind of keep it with the grain instead of immediately switching to cross grain. But you know what, why don't we just try switching to cross grain, and we will rely on the second and third pass to pick up the slack that was left by the first. So we'll do cross grain here and see what happens by the end of the shave. I don't know that I have the same goatee lather that I used to. It was like having a little lather reserve. I pulled some off my razor just now to be able to kind of touch up that area. See, my goatee is smaller than it used to be. All right. I'm not doing full rinses between each pass. Just seem like you don't really need to take it quite that far. You can leave a little slickness on your face, and in general the amount of rinsing that I'm doing is going to be getting rid of the stubble, you know, that's kind of floating around on my face, and I think that's the general idea. And also just to kind of add some hydration back, you know, to your face. So third pass now. Some people don't even rinse at all between passes. So this is Austere August. If you view my videos chronologically, then you can see one that I added that's Austere August. And that's all the title is, and it's to give you an idea about what this Austere August idea is, just using the same gear for the whole month basically, but there's more to it, and that video will explain it. I'm going to go ahead and do a touch-up pass here. I really think that the drier brush that I used today picked up more lather, picked up more soap. Because I've got more lather than I did the other day. Kind of decent residual slickness if you have some excess lather on your face somewhere. And because I can pull it, I can grab it from places and then put it where I want, and it keeps it kind of slick. Of course, you can also go backwards on your face like that, add some lather if you want to do that. That's not bad shave. Still got some length and some tips there, but I think the general idea doesn't project a 5 o'clock shadow or anything like that. I think most jobs are not going to have a problem if I were to walk in with this shave. And so that is my criteria for the quality of the shave, and I will keep on going with the Nacet. I'm curious if I'm going to roll on to 365. 333 or something like that might be where I'll end up at the end of August. And so then it would just take another, 27, 34 or something shaves to get to 365 and have a whole year. I had a buddy bought something from Brush or something like that, soap, and he took a Nacet blade, single one, and taped it to an index card and said, wrote down on the index card, year supply of blades. That was pretty good. All right, well, guys, yeah, we have tons of lather left over here. I could do another 3 passes easily with what's in here. So I think it did pick up more soap. So what could I do? Obviously, I can reduce my load time. You know what I may do tomorrow? I'll either reduce my load time and kind of try to keep it dry, or I'll go the opposite way and go wet. Let's get that, let's kind of do Marco method kind of thing, get the brush really wet, see what happens with a 30-second load there. Sometimes water can impede the gathering up of the soap. Who knows? Just depends on the soap really and the brush. All right, well, there we go. Medium light scent strength on this vetiver. It's a kind of a brighter type vetiver. It's not dark, kind of green smelling, if you will. And I do think it's a nice spring and summertime scent, but honestly, I could wear it any time. I like their Fougere better, but it was too light when I tried it before. Let me try it again sometime. But there we go. There we go. Let us throw on our balm. I think that this MdC is a soap that has a tendency to dry your skin a little bit. My skin is pretty resistant to that because it's naturally oily. But you folks with dry skin problems may have a different opinion about MdC. But for me, a simple balm, even an alcohol splash, my skin rebounds easily with this particular soap. All right, well, I've talked about what I might change in tomorrow's shave. And so I think we're good. Happy, comfortable shave. It was a little bit tuggy on the first pass, but all that went away on the subsequent passes. And I have a good shave with the old Nacet. All right, man, it's summertime, and I'm glad the long hair, relatively speaking, is gone. Oh, man, I had air conditioning problems in this place here, and so I couldn't really do it in here because trying to cut hair when you're sweating is just a big, nasty mess. Nobody wants that. All right, guys, hey, thank you for your kind words. My son is doing better with his snake bite. It's just he is able to move around and be pretty normal with it. He has to keep it elevated still. He got bitten on a finger by a copperhead, but normal pain meds seem to be doing well, so he's cranking right along. All right, guys. Well, this is Sugar Daddy Shaves, and I hope that this video's got something good for you in it that helps you out. You take care, and good night.